boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have needed is Immortals Fenyx Rising running on my Nvidia MX130 or a GT 940 MX. So this game it is developed by Ubisoft Quebec, which are exactly the same developers of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they are using the same engine behind it, which is MX 2, which is the most demanding engine inside, inside Ubisoft. That and, well, Disrupt Engine 2. So both of those two engines are very demanding inside the Ubisoft department. So this is the settings that I feel that I do play best. It is 720p with 75% of resolution scaling, and I'm using the presets at very low. This is the minimum you can go. And looking to the requirements, I think it's fair to say that we shouldn't be playing this because for the minimum it asks a GTX 1660, which is still considerably much more powerful than an MX130 or a GT 940 MX. So they do require 8 gigs of RAM with dual channel, and well, that's about it. And this game can be very demanding from the CPU, despite, yes, I had some very high CPU usage, but still I didn't suffer from any bottleneck. So with 75% of resolution scaling, the settings that I decided to go with, I got an average of 39 with a maximum of 77, although the 1% low it was unfortunately 23. Dropping down to the minimum resolution scaling, which is 50%, I was still having some drops below 30 frames per second, so the minimum I did got it was 28 and an average of 45. So the reality it is that this game have a lot of draw distance, and playing with 50% of resolution scaling really gives you a super blurry image, very hard to to decipher of what the hell you are looking into, and that's the reason I've decided to go with 75% of resolution scaling instead. Although, yes, 75% of resolution scaling obviously offers bigger drops in performance, but so far the biggest culprits in performance in this game it's when you are overviewing a great vista in the map. So overall, when you are looking at these parts at normal terrain with normal draw distances, the game usually runs above 30 frames per second, sometimes even 40. But when you are kind of in a kind of a tower environment, when you can overview the entire map, usually from the sky, well, what happens really is that your performance will suffer greatly, and you can expect to see frame rates under 30 frames per second. So yeah, it's bad, but it is not unplayable though. And if I would need to play with 50% of resolution scaling, that it is where the game looks extremely bad. Alright, and unfortunately, yes, I have decided to go with 75% of resolution scaling, and that's my personal recommendation for you regarding performance. Will you get drops under 30 frames per second? Yes, you will get. You are playing under 720p, and you are playing with very low settings, which it doesn't look that good, because one of the big things about this game is that you have grass all over the place, kind of trying to resembling like Zelda Breath of the Wild, but unfortunately at very low settings you don't get any of that grass, so it just looks bland. So should I recommend you to get this game if you have this graphic card? Well, it depends. If you are really into this game, I don't think that the graphics and performance will get in the way. Although if you want a stable 30 frames per second experience in this game, I don't really recommend you. And if you want to have a more suitable experience, if you want to play the game only when you can have a better suitable experience, well, in that case I should recommend you to only play it when you have a better PC. It's not that you can't finish this game, you can finish this game easily with this frame rate, but still, I mean, with very low settings, with this resolution scaling, and with this level of performance, the only thing I can say is that you won't be enjoying this game at a full, you know, as a full experience as you should deserve. Alright, that's probably the more correct way to say it. Alright, now that we talked about the performance, let's now talk a little bit about the game. So now talking a little bit about the game. Well, I just played the game throughout 1 hour and a half, which is not much, so I don't have too much to tell. But the first impressions that I have after playing 1 hour and a half is that this game, it is not to be taken serious. The cutscenes, there is some light tone in here. Sometimes you even going to laugh a little bit with some of the weird jokes that they make about the gods. So it's funny. Alright, it's a funny game overall. It is not to be taken serious. And gameplay wise, it kind of mixes up Zelda Breath of the Wild with Assassin's Creed. So wherever this game it is light-toned, or whatever this looks like Zelda or Breath of the Wild, but plays a little bit like a Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the reality, alright, it is that it can be challenging. So don't go buy this game expecting this to be very easy to play. No, it is not entirely easy. Of course, the game offers different levels of difficulty. You have the story mode, the low difficulty too, and that is also medium, that is high difficulty, and there is another one which I don't remember its name. But I'm playing at normal. Sometimes I had a little bit of a challenge with some Cyclops, and it might not be that easy if you buy this game, for example, for a small kid that you have in your home, like with 6 or 7 years old, is going to die. This game have a lot of puzzles, which are interesting, and there is a lot of telekinesis power, at least on this 1 hour and a half, and it's quite interesting for you to kind of beat your enemies, not only with telekinesis, but with your own powers, and mixed up with sword attacks. So I was really enjoying the game. I think it's a good game overall, but my disappointment comes with the fact that Ubisoft seems to be only to be able to make games like open world games with slight RPG elements. Yes, it's a little bit different than your typical Assassin's Creed, not only visually because it brings a lot of stuff from Zelda, but still the formula continues to be the same. The gameplay loop continues to be more and less Assassin's Creed-ish. So you are just buying a different Assassin's Creed that brings stuff from Zelda. That's my perspective that I had for 1 hour and a half. 1 hour and a half, it is nothing to judge about a game. I know that, but that's the time that I did spend benchmarking the game. Ubisoft games usually are enormous, gigantic. They can take up to 100 hours or more, so my judgment about this game in 1 hour and a half represents nothing. Alright, it's just the thing that I feel while playing this game. But you can go and visit Metacritic, and you can search up a little bit online. I do recommend you to watch ACG reviews. They are very good, very insight. It's his own opinion, but he explains a lot about the game. You can also check up on GameRanks for full reviews or full opinions about the game. That's the opinions that I usually like to visit, so feel free to do it. But yeah, that's overall my opinion about the game, and I'm enjoying it. Despite on Metacritic, the scores of this game, it is around 77. It's just, again, disappointing because it's just Ubisoft only knows how to make these games, and I'm growing a little bit tired of their open world-ish Assassin's Creed style over and over and over again. It's insanity, like in Far Cry 3, alright? It's insanity. They are always doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm a little bit disappointing that Ubisoft can't create something really new, alright? So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Immortals Fenyx Rising, formerly known as Gods and Monsters. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
The Olympians think a pathetic army of demigods can stop me?
Is this battle on?
Winged bat hero we've heard about?